Hey guys, Kid here of Burn One for our Shadowverse Evolve channel, along with Dean. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, this is your boy Dean.
Yep, we're here reviving the channel a bit because we have new information. Finally, they've started. I don't want to say leaking, but they've
Trickling,
been trickling
trickling
out
it
that
down.
information, to get people hype. So the first thing we'll just jump right into for this hopefully short video is we have Reign of Bahamut. Set 2 has a sell date. It's going to be September 29th, 2023. So we're excited for that, right?
Yeah, 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months after the release. Was it like that in JP? I didn't follow the exact
Yeah,
release
it's
schedule. About every three
every
months.
3 months. Yeah, that's like a good release schedule. So Pokemon and Magic do. So
Okay,
I don't
cool.
know.
And then set 3 was the Umamusume set, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I guess we'll see. Hopefully, 3 months after this, if the Uma set comes out or whatever, the Horse Girl set. Um, I guess we should be expecting about that. Hopefully, but yeah, excited for that. But the main thing we'll be talking about here is the Shadowverse Evolve. What were they calling it? I guess World Tournament like circuit. So there's a few different things they're doing for it. So the first thing here we're talking about is supposedly this is going to be for shops to organize, which is the Shadowverse Evolve Championship. They weren't very clear on it. I was talking with Dean earlier. It sounds kind of like if you're familiar with like Weiss or Vanguard, I guess. They do have like special. I don't know how to describe it other than like special specific tournaments that they occasionally have at stores where you can enter and then win a specific like championship prize card that usually is hot stamped or something. I think that's what they're
Yeah.
going for with this, the championship series here. Um, but then they're also going to have here. This is what makes it kind of confusing is Shadowverse Evolve monthly shop tournaments. I assume what they're trying to do here is that this is just going to be like a monthly sanctioned tournament every month that like people are guaranteed to get promo packs for specifically. I don't know if
I mean,
this
that's
is.
like
Go ahead.
that sounds about right, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is. I guess like this is the only way to get promos other than like how kind of right now for Bushiroad how they handle like Weiss and Vanguard is like stores at their discretion can give out promos like weekly to like their weekly events that they host themselves. But it sounds like both of these formats, I guess I'm going to call them, or circuit things or whatever, are going to have separate promos to get. Because they did say in the Shadowverse Evolve Championship, they're going to have special promos. And then on this here, on the monthly shop tournament, it says like right here on this is there going to be monthly promo card packs. So I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like a once a month thing or if it's, at the store's digression or whatever. But I guess we'll see how that pans out when we get
I mean,
closer.
it's likely it's kind of like what Weiss does, like right in Japanese, where they sometimes have those like promo packs. It's probably the exact
Yeah,
same, right?
I assume so. Yeah, but I'm not sure if by monthly shop tournaments is like actually like once a month type of thing they want to do. I don't know how strict they're going to be about sanctioned tournaments at stores, but I guess we'll find out for sure closer to release, hopefully. And then finally, the big one is the World Invitational. So this is the big competitive circuit that will be going for Evolve, Shadowverse Evolve here. Excited to actually see this. We're like Dean and I were kind of worried. We're not sure what they were going to really do. Like I've talked to some people that work at Bushiroad and they're like, no, we can't even tell you anything, even though they know what was up before they announced this. So it looks like you're gonna have a shop qualifier, some kind of local shop qualifier, and then I assume like winners of those events will be able to make it to the regional qualifier here. So they're expecting 20 to 30 players per region, and then that leads into the world finals, which will be in Tokyo, and the estimated players is anywhere from 30 to 60 players. Personally, I kind of like this type of formatting for world events like this, where you have to go through like the whole qualifier to make it to the regional, and the regional leads into the world finals that way. What do you think, Dean?
Yeah, I actually really like this system here. The big reason why is if you don't know, in Japan, they were getting 1,000 people, like, right? And so it kind of forced them into the situation where in order to get staff, they had to run best of one, which is a pretty terrible format. I think we can all agree on that. Like best of one, not the best format. But with this, because we're going to be like, shifting through people at the shop qualifiers to get to the smaller regionals, your regionals aren't going to be like these, according to these estimates, right? They're not going to be these like awful experiences where you're playing against hundreds upon hundreds of people. It's going to be like everyone in the room is good. You just got to beat the people in the room. And it will also probably allow them to do best 2 out of 3 going like just like straight out the gate.
Yeah, I really like that.
Thing.
Yeah, because I mean, you and I both play Weiss a lot, and best of one formats kind of suck usually.
Yeah,
and especially in this type of game where you have like more interactions with your opponent, best of one formats tend to favor aggro decks more often than not.
So a huge problem in Japanese, yeah.
Yeah, so being able to have 2 out of 3 right from the start was, I think, really big. I never actually thought about this too, because early on in the JP Shadowverse Evolve, everything was best of one, right? So I wonder if this will affect the meta here, because we're playing with the set now, but it's going to be 2 out of 3 instead of best of one. Because I know early on when Booster 1 came out, it was like you said, and kind of like I said too, best of one formats kind of lean heavily into aggro metas, because if someone doesn't draw the right answer, if they're playing some kind of control deck or something, like they just need one misstep to lose the game essentially, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how the metagame will end up shifting out, if it'll be kind of the same or not. But yeah, personally too, I really like these type of formats. I like that the regional qualifiers are going to be like 300, 400, 500 people tournaments, right? Because usually those are like entire weekend events or entire all day events. Whereas this,
they drag,
yeah,
right? They drag. They're painful.
Whereas like this regional if you make it to the regional qualifier, like I assume you can expect anywhere from like a 5 to 6 round tournament, right? Maybe, and then I don't know if they're going to make
5, right?
Yeah,
20 is not a lot.
Yeah,
30 is not a lot.
So I don't know too if like they're going to have a cut to like a top for these regional qualifiers, because they haven't really announced anything yet. But my assumption here, I mean, if you might know more, Dean, because I know you looked more into the JP stuff. My assumption here is like shop qualifiers are going to be like Swiss until there's only one undefeated in that player, or maybe the top 2 players will end up qualifying for a regional. And then from the regional qualifier and world finals, I don't know how they're going to cut from there, but I feel like that's how shop qualifiers are going to play out. I don't know if you've looked into that at all for the JP side.
I mean, that sounds about right. I don't think the JP side had these shop qualifiers. This might be like something new they're doing in Japan as well. Because like before they just had the regionals. They just had like locals and regionals, and that was it.
Yeah.
And their regionals were just massive. So.
Yeah, that was for sure. Like I saw those tweets before that you showed me, where it was thousands of players. Is this the, like I said, I don't look enough at the JP side right now, but is the current format in JP as well? I think it seems that way. Sometimes I see tweets.
I did actually stop following the Japanese side of the game once English got announced. It's like that problem where you can only focus on so many things, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but either way, this is going to be interesting and fun. I heavily prefer this over like crazy huge regionals. And one thing,
for sure.
One thing with this too, they did say that at every qualifier of these events, like the Schwab qualifier, regional qualifier, world finals, there's going to be exclusive promos for each thing you get to. So if you like collecting, or you just, obviously you're competitive, you need to at least make it out to all these shop qualifiers to get the exclusive promo, and then hopefully you make it into the regional world finals and get those exclusive promos as well. That is one thing they did say on the stream for this. I think that is kind of wraps up most of this about the tournament circuit. Was there anything you could think of to add to this, Dean?
No, that was pretty much it. Just like go to locals, compete, hopefully be able to get that spot at the regional. And I just really prefer this, especially like because this is like something that like as the game grows, right?
Mm-hmm.
This I don't really know any other game that has like this structure, because I don't really like Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Like get 1,000-person regionals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon 1,000-person regionals. Weiss, okay, 100-person, but that's all we got. Um, like, but like this, I like this, like shifting out, like the so like like every round matters, right? Like in a 20 man selected, right? That's already like as narrowed down as Worlds is for most games, right?
Yeah.
But then you have like the even better Worlds, right? So it's like this regional. I don't think you could be sleeping. I don't think you'd be sleeping in round one like it is in like a normal game, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. I think this will. Hopefully they end up streaming all these events instead of having casters, because that's what I would love the most at the end of the day. But I think having a format like this where probably shop qualifiers and stuff like that will just be handled by stores if they want to like stream it or advertise it in any way like that. But at regional qualifiers and higher, it the quality of play is going to be so much better, I think, right? Because you're going to have to go through your locals, and I'm sure at these little shop qualifiers there's going to be people from out of your area also coming to compete for that
Yeah.
spot. So it'll kind of like weed out all the players that don't have the ability to like make it to world finals, right? Like not to not to like ruin anyone's day or anything like that, but obviously there's people that aren't going to be able to make it to regional qualifiers through these shop qualifiers. And so the quality of play at regionals and higher is going to be so good. So if they're streaming these events, every game is going to be really good no matter what. Even if you're looking at an X2 or X3 game, it's probably going to be highly competitive, which I'm going to like a lot, because I do see a lot of other events like from Magic and Pokemon and stuff. The first few rounds are pretty rough. Sometimes you get like a well-known player against a nobody that no one knows about, and they end up, you know, just looking bad on stream in a way.
Pokemon's a little bit better. They don't actually stream the first 2 or 3 rounds for that reason.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like no telling what happens at round 2, right?
Yeah. I think most of the Magic events I used to follow streams all day from beginning to end, and they usually try to get like the named players on stream. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up, right?
Yeah, I think that's it for this video, right? I mean, there's not really much else. Hopefully, we get more news going forward.
Yeah, and yeah, whenever more news comes out, especially for the tournament circuit and competitive side, we'll definitely be dropping small videos out there for people to get caught up on if they're not, don't have their hand on the or their fingers on the pulse of Shadowverse Evolved competitive play. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that, so you can get more of our videos later. Other than that, Dean and I will be seeing you later. Goodbye, everyone.